Yes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Link Up Podcast with your host, Mr. King, and my co host, Kana.
Yes, what's going on, everybody?
Today, we have a very special guest on the show, none other than Nelly Blaise.
Yeah, what's up?
If you like to greet the people, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm good. Thank you, Mr. King.
Okay, then.
Boy,
Awkward introduction.
my just a little bit there, no, just a little bit there. But anyway, long story short. Let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
What you doing, Nelly? What you doing? How long you been here? Give us a little thing of like, who's Nelly?
A little bit of your background,
Well,
for those who may not know.
Not the rapper.
yeah. So basically, my real name is John and Nelly,
Okay.
and I come from St. Martin. I've been here for 4 years now. I'm studying international leisure management.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also trying to make films and TV shows. Currently, I'm working on the Student Late Show, trying to make that a TV show based in Breda.
Okay, so what about?
The Student Late Show is about a platform where students get a voice to express their voices, their opinions about society and thought-provoking issues.
So I tried to copy the link up. That's what I said.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
But now, how long is this in development? How long have you been working on this? Or like the student late show?
The Student Late Show came about around in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I got the idea when I was in Breda. There's a lot of international students, and every time I talked to a student, they had something very good to say about a certain topic. Sometimes someone would talk about environmental issues, and I would be like, "Yo, you open my mind to that."
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a student or just a person would talk about love or the situation that we're in right now in the Netherlands, and I would be like, "Yo, I love that point of view." And then I catch myself in school sitting down, and I'm like, I want to listen to all these people that are talking about all these different topics, but how? So I decided I wanted to bring all these students together in one place, talk to them, and hear their opinions. And I know I'm not the only one who want to hear their point of view. So I'm like, other people will want to hear this too. So I was sitting down in school, writing down concepts and stuff like that. And at that time, I used to watch a lot of Chelsea Lately.
Mm-hmm.
And she's one of my favorite hosts in
Late night talk show.
yeah, in late night talk show,
Why Chelsea?
because she's raw, she's honest, and 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 I'm attracted not only to her looks but to her personality, to her personality and the way how she talks about different topics. She's funny, she's smart, and I like the way how she articulates herself as well. So
Okay.
I listened to her so much, and I got inspired. And I'm a guy that watch a lot of late night shows. I watch a lot of Conan, and I just love the concept. You're sitting on a couch, you're interviewing someone, you're asking them questions. There's an audience. There's the writing perspective of it, the aesthetics of the stage looking nice. And then I was like, man, I want to bring this right here to my school and see if it's gonna happen. So I write the concept, I give it to my school. They give me interns, and then made the pilot.
Okay. And the pilot, what exactly was like the concept for the first pilot? Like what all did you, if you want to talk about the first episode first, well, the pilot then basically.
The pilot was basically it was how to bring the idea that I had alive, and the concept was basically talking about student progression into the working field. So we had students that actually started their own business. We had an 18-year-old student, a Dutch boy, who started his own media company. No, I think he was 17. And we had like a psychologist from Rotterdam who works in a business, and where she assess the psyche of the employees if they have problems or anything like that. And also Naomi from St. Martin, she's She's a student that's studying physical therapy as well,
Mhm.
and she had, I don't know if she's still doing it, but she had like a business that she's selling health products and stuff like that.
Mm.
And also, Dr. Rum is, you can say, an independent artist. I would think. I think
Yeah,
so.
as far as I
Yeah, I
know.
don't think he's signed to anybody, so I feel like it's safe to consider him independent.
And independent artists to me are entrepreneurs.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely right about that.
from that standpoint,
If they're doing it right then. But
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need,
What your thoughts are?
To be successful as an independent artist, definitely need to have some entrepreneurial spirit
Mhm.
because it's like there's very few rare cases where somebody hands you something you got to put in a lot of work and you really have that self motivation and drive to go out there and do this on your own and like without necessarily having a boss to tell you and push you like that. So you definitely need to have some kind of entrepreneurial spirit or at least self drive. Like
But I wouldn't consider that to be like in almost everything you do now. Because no matter what field you're going into, at some point in time, if especially if you're
It's-
doing something on your own,
it's a
going
lit-
to, you're going to have to encounter some kind of business aspect of
I
it.
personally feel like with music is a little different. Yes, you can go to music schools and stuff like that, but for most people, for a lot of people that aren't able to go to music schools, it's just literally kind of on the fly trying to figure this thing out, put pieces together.
But that's even
and it's
more of a
like-
reason for you to be like that because you don't have the schools is what for the networking and give you the opportunities and stuff like
Yeah,
that. If
but
you-
schools also give you that safe environment to practice. Like for example, if you do a music study and stuff, they put you in situations where like, look, you get used to performing in front of your classmates and stuff like that, so that you already have some experience performing before you ever set foot on a real stage, like to perform as part of your career, quote unquote. Is like that's the same thing that school does for any field you go into. Is like, okay, here practice, here's a couple scenarios that are similar to what a real life situation might be like when you're actually out in the field, and you get to practice in a safe environment where you can make mistakes, you get feedback, you get correction, whatever, and then you improve and stuff. It doesn't really matter how if you mess up in school, but then it's like if you already established artist and you performing terribly and stuff like that, it's a bad look, you know. That
Right.
messes up the money or whatever.
Yeah, but it's in like even if you don't okay, that's the thing. So like the school will give you the environment and give you the practice and stuff like that. So you don't think that even if not even if but the people who didn't go to school they have to have that entrepreneurship even more and that drive even more because they don't have that practice and because they don't have that
Yeah, but that's
that-
the whole thing of like usually entrepreneur. If you don't go to school, yeah, you have the entrepreneur. If you did make the decision not to go to school, I think that's because you want to be an entrepreneur. You want to do something that you feel school isn't necessarily equipping you adequately or whatever, that you felt it necessary to make the decision to go a different route.
Yeah, that kind of brings my original point. Entrepreneurship is practically in everything, because no matter that whole drive to be an entrepreneur is the same drive you need to do anything else.
I disagree because with entrepreneur it takes with most other things it takes away. There's a safety net. Like just the fact that you have a boss, there's somebody that you can shift accountability to if you're working for a company. If you like going through school and stuff like that, like somebody's teaching you. Whereas if you just decide to not go to school and stuff like that, whatever happens is basically there's nobody to blame but you. You have to take all accountability and responsibility for everything that happens. In a company is like, okay, cool, I was not the lead or whatever on this project. I was just assistant or advisory council. If something goes wrong, there's that opportunity. Whereas if you are entrepreneur and stuff like that, there's nobody else to do that. Or at least if you start in the business, then you might be the CEO, founder, whatever it is. There's nobody to give that blame to. You got to take all responsibility. It's like bigger risk and there's also bigger reward if it goes well. I mean, like most of the companies that we look to and how people trying to get jobs at and stuff was started by people who took that risk and failed a couple of times. And that's another thing too. Like if it doesn't go well, usually there's a lot more risk involved in that situation with entrepreneurial versus if you go to school or if you get a job and stuff like that.
Right, it's true. But I mean, at the same point, yeah.
Reminds me of the Dame Dash interview from back in the day on the Breakfast Club and stuff. He was talking about people who workers and there's bosses and stuff like that. Not everybody is necessarily a boss. Not everybody has that entrepreneurial spirit or wants to go that because it's a lot more
That's the
risk.
thing. I think everybody have it, just not a lot of people don't want it. Or they might say they want it, but their actions
There's
speak
risk,
something
and
different.
some people just prefer a place where it's like, yo, I could get a salary I could count on a fixed income or that salary every month. Whereas in an entrepreneurial world, it's like, okay, is the business doing good this month? Then yeah,
Yeah.
you think it's good, or if it's doing bad, then all of that affects your pocket directly.
Yeah, that's true. That is
It's like not
definitely.
everybody wants that situation. We way off top because we supposed to be interviewing this young gentleman right here, and you know,
I was going to spin it a little bit better than that, but it's alright. So then, who? Okay, so give me one of the topics I you would talk about on the show.
We would talk about, let's say, for instance, love and health.
Oh God,
What's
what's love got to do with it?
What's the
Got to do
what's the
with it.
definition of love? Do you
Headache.
that's true.
Yeah. I starting to believe love, love is not a feeling anymore.
elaborate on that.
Please.
Okay. So what I mean is not a feeling. Okay, cool. It'll start as a feeling and everything, infatuation, all that kind of stuff like that. But if you trying to say that you going to stay with that one person, is not just a feeling anymore. That's a commitment. That's a job now. Because you're not going to constantly love that person the same way or feel the same way 24/7 about that person. But if you're going to stick with them and you want that person in your life, you have to stick through that feeling, and you have to stick through those days when you just want to say, yo, fuck you, I go in my way. You check? So feelings not going to keep a relationship together.
I understand what you're saying, but I disagree with certain parts of how you phrase it. Like I get the essence of what you're saying, and I kind of agree that yes, love is not just like a word. It's not just that initial feeling of infatuation type of thing. It needs to be a little more than that. I agree with that, but how you saying like, I forget exactly what it was that you said, but I just feel like memory is terrible. You know? Memory
Jesus
is terrible.
Christ.
I'm a young old man, but
Marcy's a young old man. Well.
like.
But then what part you don't
Oh,
agree
the
with?
part that I disagree with was that I feel like you can love somebody but still be upset with them and all those. Like I feel like those things are momentary emotions that like it doesn't completely encapsulate or replace the love or something like that. It's like
Okay.
the love is there. You still could love this person, but I could be like, yo, I feel like ripping your head off metaphorically.
No,
not
but that
literally,
no, but that's understandable. Okay, let me ask this question then. What's your longest relationship, Nelly? How like yeah, what was your longest relationship?
Probably the one that I'm in right now. If it's because I whenever I'm in a relationship, I don't count. So when you ask a boy how long you been in a relationship,
No,
usually
but big man, you realize right now you have to remember these things.
yeah.
How you mean?
Okay, let me see.
Avoid argument.
But yeah,
101.
yeah, you asking
Wait,
for
wait, wait.
drama, man.
That's basic rules in learning how to
I
avoid
think-
arguments.
it's since
I know that.
At least a starting year.
almost 8 months now,
Oh,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
start 8 months. Okay, so
and that's my
beginning of the year.
longest relationship with that I ever had with any girl. 8 months.
Okay,
True.
and you, Mr. King, how was your longest? What was your longest relationship?
A little bit over a year and a couple months and stuff.
Okay,
I don't know exactly, but yeah, maybe like a year and 4 months.
for me, it's about a year and change as well. We don't know what it is to actually say that yeah we gonna stick to it or fucking thing. Was a year. Was a year, 1 year that's
You
nothing.
do know that we're young.
Yeah, but what was okay? We
Young and subjective.
yeah that
Depending on who you ask, I mean,
That
I know
too.
some people are like they've been together since they're like 15, going they and like they going strong and stuff, and
I don't know. But my whole thing is just like at one point down the line, it's going to stop being just about feelings. It's going to not just be about that. Oh yeah, I really like this person and things like that.
yeah, as soon as you got some bills to pay and there's responsibilities and everything, it's like
But,
love don't pay the bills.
but that's the thing. Love ain't enough for last. It ain't enough no
But
more.
what I think you're doing, you're not compartmentile.
Try again.
Compartmentalizing.
Yes,
Yeah.
compartmentalize. You bundling all of it up into one. Love is separate from, say, for instance, when you're working to pay for the bills. Love is something totally different from being sad. Love is something totally different from being angry. When you're talking about love, and for me, is a soul connection between two human beings, and nothing else matters beyond that.
It's an interesting topic for three guys in a room. The first topic we delve in deep into love and things, the mysteries and the intricacies of love.
But let's be real now.
Mm-hmm.
If fellas used to talk about this more, we would have a lot less problems.
Yes.
Possibly, yeah.
No, there's no. Let's stop. Let's cut the bullshit. Not possibly, because I sure all of us in this room here has done some shit that if we had been open about our feelings and had maybe
Probably could have avoided some
older and more wiser
Some OG
advice and consolation, we would avoid a lot of bullshit that happened.
Probably, yeah.
And I definitely one of those people.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You're not wrong.
it's just that if man used to be more open about that and shit like that and talk about things like how we talking about it now, which is the reason for this podcast anyway. A lot of shit would have been easier, but in society, especially in the Caribbean, they have this whole stigma. Yeah, you talk about your feelings or you talk too much about what you feel or things. You're soft,
boom, boom.
you're a faggot. I mean, yeah, you're a faggot because that's a terminology that is used in the Caribbean. I don't mean to offend nobody, but
You're just trying to give an accurate quote.
yeah, that and oh yeah, he's a pushover, he's a pussy, and this and that. That's a common phrase. Don't be a bitch, man up. So it's like, okay, cool, but then at the same time, you want me to come express my feelings and stuff like that. But pick a
So
side.
kind of, are you a feminist? Is that what you're proclaiming now? It sounds a little bit. It sounds kind of like.
As a realist,
Mm-hmm.
I call bullshit for what it is. Like if that was the case, shit would have been cool. But especially, and I can say it on the flip side too. If women used to hold it down a little bit more, a lot of this shit wouldn't be an issue.
Hold it down regarding what?
By feelings.
Meaning what?
Like not everything got to be like, yo, how you feeling? Like, oh, I feel like this and I feel like that. The same way how men don't have to be a dick all the time and just not talk to the woman.
Mm-hmm.
So it is both ways, Jed.
With women, I don't think you can tell them to stop with the feelings because I think they
you can't stop. You can't tell them to stop with the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But even women could agree. Let me ask how it is then.
Mm-hmm.
Are you never had female friends that tell you, yeah, they don't have other female friends?
I've heard some of the statements before.
And what is the reason they don't have female friends? Because they know and they agree that woman is drama. And the woman is... women know this.
Usually it boils down
They
to
know
something
this
like
about
is drama
themselves.
as well.
So you can't tell me why I say it is wrong.
men is drama as well.
It's true.
Yeah, but
it's
generally speaking, from the
But it's a
female
different-
perspective,
it's a
it's always
different
dangerous
drama.
when you're generalizing and making general statements, saying like, okay, women are like this, men are like this. It's always dangerous
Okay,
when
yeah,
you're making that.
yeah.
You automatically open yourself
And if
up to
any-
be wrong, and somebody to be like, yo, I'm not like that.
I'm
blah,
sorry,
blah,
if
blah,
anybody
blah.
have to feel offended about what we're talking about now, that means you are that way, and I mean you have to check yourself. Because if you feel uncomfortable with this conversation, that means you have something with you. But anyway, that I don't know. That's just my thoughts of it because it could be both. Is like just like everything else. I find life is a balance.
Yes.
So they're going to have the good and they're going to have the bad. It's all how you choose to see it, how you choose to visualize it, and that's your. I guess that's you. How to say it properly, but see, this is why I gotta read more. You know, my vocabulary getting a little. Is your standpoint to a certain perspective, and only you could choose that. And there's like everybody got the same 24 hours, but you choose how to spend yours. You choose what you're going to focus on. But that's just my 2 cents. That whole love thing is that's a dangerous topic on its own, to be quite honest.
Yeah, especially with just 3 boys and no women.
But again, like I say, if man used to talk about it more, a lot of shit would have been a lot easier.
Either way, like, I mean, we can discuss it. It can be a potentially dangerous topic if we trying to represent or speak on behalf of women and stuff like that. I feel like, that's where we setting ourselves up for failure. I would agree with that. But we can still we could still discuss a male perspective on love and stuff like that. We can still represent the male side of the discussion or how we interpret situations and how we may feel about certain situations and all of that. But
we might not be able to talk about a female perspective.
We could
specifically